G'day everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be my Knackers Yard. So what are we up to? The wonderful Tango has sold. I've taken a deposit. It's going to take a couple of weeks because he's got a mate of his that's a courier who's away on holiday, yada yada yada, but I've had the deposit, it's fine. I think next weekend I'm going to give him a bit of a run and a bit of a run out, run up and down the road because he's not moved for months. And a bit of a clean and all that sort of stuff, but I won't film because it's dull. But happy, and I'll have some space. And more importantly, Tango goes to a new home in Wales. On Mick, you would have seen my video on the replacement brake. One of you guys, and if I can remember, I'll dig it out who it was. One of you guys mentioned about heating it up. Sorry, this is the old one, so I do have a replacement. Supervised by the dog. Lady, you alright, mate? Tough life. One of you guys mentioned about heating it up, and I'm having some joy. So, well, I'm not too bothered because I've got a replacement. Fundamentally, I have the replacement's here, and it's a lot better, and I won't have to do all the work. But what I've been doing is just topping up the top. Sorry, as far as removing the pistons concerned, and air hoses and clamps and everything else, I still don't think there's anything better than pneumatics, than using fluid. I've got a load, it's not really too much of a drama, so it's on a short drop, as you can see, but what I've been doing is grabbing my old blower. Just trying to heat up the piston a bit and see if it breaks the seal, and it looks like it has. I mean, that's 5mm out further than it was before. Obviously the seal inside is rubber, so I don't really want to melt it, although obviously it's going to require replacing, but I don't want to melt it because I don't want it to stick. You can see it's a tiny amount of movement each time, but albeit tiny, it is movement. Not sure how much you can see. Yeah, it is movement. I will continue giving it a bit of a top up. Got my hat on, it's cold. Not as cold as it has been. I mean, it is quite wasteful of brake fluid, but I can't find a better way of doing it. Let's just point you down a little bit, mod you down. There we go. Maybe even try a bit of zoomage. I've got a bucket down there because when this goes, it's going to drop brake oil everywhere. Brake oil, brake fluid. I'm just going to keep doing this because it seems to be having an effect. And there we go, a bit of wood underneath, a couple of little taps. It's a bit scratched up where I've tried to get it out before, but the working mating surface doesn't look too bad. And actually inside, it's okay. It was this edge, this gammy edge. All of it fairly academic because I'm obviously not going to be using it because I've got a new one. But what it does mean is that I can give it a bit of a clean out, chuck it online, see if anyone wants it. Bit of a clean up on the outside. Lead nipples blocked. That's when I got it. But yeah, there's got to be a tenner of anyone's money. Right. What I probably should do is put the new one on and just give it a bit of a functionality test. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to wash my hands first, and we'll get the new one and just see if it plays. Oops, my battery ran out. I've just had the phone on charge, and I'm done. A little bit of, I'd say reverse bleeding. It was reverse bleeding, but I unhooked the top to start with. I don't know why. I'm hoping that's not coming across as jerky as it's filming. Yeah, so I've got a front brake now, so what I can do is pull the front brake, give it a bit of a bounce, which I've not been able to do before. It is binding a bit, but I'm sure it'll loosen off. The reason I want to do that, binding a bit, that's really binding. Saying that, that's got sort of half and half pads, i.e. half from the original and half from the new or the replacement. The reason I wanted to do the bounce, I wanted to check the forks. That's perfectly dry. As is that one, surprisingly. There is some pitting on there, but actually relatively minor on the travel surface, but they may need re-chroming. I'll see how I go. Cool. Now, I want to be looking at a bit more form and function here. Hey, look, still here. I'm hoping that's not as jerky as it's going, as it's filming. Yeah. What? Get away, you. Let's give you a bit of height. So, it's really looking at what I want to do with it. Now, I'm not going for a full restoration. That's not my bag, but I do want it good and I do want it different. Now, to get the tank on, to check it out, I can't do it with that throttle cable. It's too short. It's a normal throttle cable, not a 8 hangers one. So what I'm going to do is get rid of the 8 hangers and just put a standard one on for now. Right, so I know some people will find it heartbreaking, but I can't put the tank on with the throttle cable. I could disconnect it and all of that, but I just can't. I did want to ride it with them, but it is daft. I've got some old rental bars at the back. I'm going to chuck those on for now. They're not going to be the end state at all, but I'll chuck those on now. Right, so the apes are no more. Hideous things. I will stress this is a temporary measure. This is what I have. Just kicking around from previous projects. What's the best way of doing this? Probably actually to loosely mount some stuff first before I jam it onto the bar. Yeah, so they're not end state. I won't be keeping them. They are literally there because I've got them. I don't know what I'm going to go for yet. This is part of the process, man. This is part of today's slight fucking around, really. I just want to put it together and see how it looks. What am I doing, you moron? Right. Here we have some slightly more normal shaped bars. I must find that bolt. It's dropped onto the engine. I've just kicked it. Right, that's looking better. That's looking a lot better. Let me take a squat So the tank is still full of vinegar. It's been for a week. Just whip that out actually. I quite like the seat now. Actually, that's. How do I look? Oh, I'm stupid in the hat. It's actually quite comfortable. Quite like that. Dinky little thing. Especially when you compare it against that massive bike, the CBF. Now what I also have is a single saddle. That's a possibility, like a bobber seat. Not to use this one, this is a quite fucked up one. I don't have all the brackets and everything, I can't quite remember what it came from. Cooler? Less cool? Don't know. Could then lose all the back end, or at least a large chunk of it. Get it. Go for a decent bobber. Need to be back a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not sure. What do you reckon? Long sort of calf flat track type thing. Bobber seat. How is that attached? Right, that's not the decision for now, but I am going to take that mudguard off because it needs to come off, because it needs something doing with it. And I'll have another look without the mudguard because it's really hard to tell with that mudguard. But what I do want to do, what I do feel the need to do, is open that and have a look at how that vinegar's getting on. Right, so I've got the keys and one of my little bracelet thingies. The simple answer is brilliantly. Right, I'm just going to get a brush and just give that a scrub round. Oh, seat's falling off. Scrub round and then get this vinegar out, I think. Right, audiobook running away in the background. Let's see how bad this is. How's your view? Not that bad at all, actually. Just while that's draining, while the audiobook's prattling away in the background. Right, let's see what we can see, if anything. It's actually pretty damn good. I'm going to give that a swill out with some water, just to see if I can get the last bits off. So that's rinsed through clear. What I do have is a little like endoscopy type thing with a torch on it, which seems to have some bits on it. So got some really light rust kicking around, but really not a lot. Not sure how much you can actually see. Well, not a lot more than I can, to be honest, but I'm happy with that. Let's get it dry. Yeah, so by let's get it dry, what I'm saying is I've got my blower just set up behind you. Should put it that way because that's really useful, and if I put it down somewhere I'll lose it. So I've got my blower. It's as simple as that. really need to mark up that dodgy plug. So I'm going to put it on low, jam it in, just leave it doing its thing. Right, so while that tank has been drying out, I've got that rear mudguard off. I'm just going to mark out the cables that I've taken off it. Going to get back to that tank in a sec. I just wanted to do that while it was drying out. Yeah, let's get that lovely bad boy back on. Right, so that is the tank on. I've also got some fuel in it. I was going to go for a start, but the battery is totally dead. It has been really chilly over the last few days, and it's just been cold starting. Now with the back off though and the tank on, I quite like that. Now obviously it's going to be a bit higher because I would have to do some sort of plate potentially all the way round, or there is more of a sort of cafe flat pack, scrambler-esque look. What do you think? Like a optician's test with? Don't know. So, thinking bodywork would be some sort of wraparound to cover up. Don't know. Didn't it? Right, I'm going to leave it on charge overnight. Let's see if I can go for a start tomorrow. That'll do me. Cheers everyone. Thanks a lot. Bye. There we go, some noise for you. I'm going to drop the oil out. I'm just warming the oil. Going into gear, but it's just jumping in, so the clutch isn't holding it back. Yeah, so I restarted that because the phone quite often zeroes to the noise, and it would have zeroed to a lot of noise. Yeah, it's going into gear, but the clutch isn't working, so if I'm on the bike and put it into gear, it just judders and stalls. So clutch plates, I don't have to drop the oil to do that, but I want to because I want to play with the plates. In fact, I do need to. It's a wet clutch. Yeah, so I'll drop the oil anyway. I put in the world's cheapest Asda oil before, so I'm not bothered about wasting it. And we can do a bit of an examination, see if it's shat itself into it. Sorry, talking So last time I did it with a cold engine, because I couldn't start it. So this time that's getting a lot more out. I'm going to drain that out, look at clutch plates, and that'll be, well, I say tomorrow's job, they're not going to be here tomorrow, but that'll be the next job, or next big job anyway, I think, because I want to get this thing moving, mobile, before I start stripping it apart. I want to be convinced of exactly what I need to do with it when it's in pieces. Now I'm going to leave that to drain, and this really is a ta-da this time, and I'll catch you later. Ta-da.